question for the single men that think women are gold diggers or they don't want to take women out unless they're splitting the bill 50-50. So what I'm curious about, Chris, in your cargo shorts is, do you think they're looking for your Applebee's gift card that you have? You think they're really coming after that free chicken Caesar salad? They're not going after your inheritance that doesn't exist. They're not going after the money you don't have. They're not going after the yacht that you've never even gone near. A girl going on a date and thinking that a guy is going to be a gentleman and expecting him to pay for her dinner when he asked her out is not a gold digger. That's called a woman. What you're looking for clearly is another man to date, if you're wanting them to pay for the date that you asked them on. So just food for thought. But if you think I'm incorrect, definitely let me know in the comments and we could chat about it. But if you ask a woman on a date, then you are responsible for paying for that date. Plan a date that's in your price range. Simple as that.
Once again, y'all like to shame men. So whatever you think they're coming after, whatever you don't think they're coming after, it's not going to be given to them. I don't want to give, well, you don't have anything. Great. Well, the little bit that I do or don't have, I don't want you to have it. I worked for it. It's important to me. Period.
He was like, we should date. And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, we'd be good. And I was like, no. And then I like jokingly told my younger sister who had met him, and she was like, oh, he's so great. He's amazing. He's such a nice guy. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I can't be with a guy that's nice. Like, what? And she's like, no, he's so sweet. And I was like, no. And then I like, my sister's voice started getting in my head, and I was like, can I be with a nice guy? Like, should I be with a guy that could actually treat me right? So then I was like, fine. Like, I'll give him a shot. And then I was like, he's amazing.
A dude in the comments said, that guy should run for the hills. She will 100% get bored and start to act out. Might be true. But I do appreciate her sister saying, no, you need to get your head out of your behind and start dating men that actually care about you. That's what accountability looks like.
Y'all, this is going to be icky one. But I'm just going to be straight up. I haven't dated a lot. I haven't dated in the last however many years. It just doesn't. I've just been disappointed a lot of times, right? Well, someone talked me into dating again. So I tried. What do you know? This is why my walls, which I understand is not great. Like, it's just not. But, and not even, my wall. So I have walls up because I have been disappointed, not just in past relationships, but like I've just been hurt a lot. And then someone comes and weasels in. You guys, it failed. And here's my thing is like, I don't like feeling this part of it. So this is why I don't jump into a lot of things. I just don't. Plus I'm a single mom. I don't have a lot of time. And it's like, I let my guard down and I do it. And then what do you know? For one of the exact same reasons that I was like, hey, what about this? I can't move. Have you thought? And he's like, of course I've thought about this. Like, that's crazy. Like, of course I would come to you, whatever, no problem, whatever. You guys, literally, I just like, sometimes I seem to make every damn decision the wrong way. It's like, my career is not where it should be. Like, nothing is. And it's like, what in the world? And I know this is so icky and I'm holding it together the best I can. What in the am I doing wrong? Like, honestly, I try to be a good person. I have a good heart. I lead with that. And I try to do good by people and make people feel, I just like, what the f am I doing wrong in this life? Like, I've never been married because I want it to be right. And oh my God, apparently you have to date to get there. But like, what am I doing? Just what am I doing? That's all.
You're almost speaking as though somebody did something wrong or like something bad happened. When really, it's just that maybe as it progressed, he was saying, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. But then you opened him to something, or something happened to where he said, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. And so he decided to take a step back. I think that's allowed. If women can do it, men can do it. There's just something that doesn't work for him. That's it. I mean, you're talking about, well, I want to wait till marriage to do it right. Never been married? Well, you're a single mom. So apparently something's been going on. Apparently something's been happening. Maybe he didn't like that part of it. Who knows? Maybe the more he thought about it, he said, I don't want to go down that track. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he was like, man, that's cool. Man, that's great. That's fantastic. Love the kid. Who knows? Your circumstance and your situation, because of the child, might be limited. And so now he's got limited options as to what he can do, as to what he wants to do. And it's his preference not to want to be involved in that. Maybe not necessarily for the child, but maybe because he's saying, well, I don't want to be landlocked here, or I don't want to be specifically in a certain place. You never know. You never know. But I don't know if it's anybody's fault. I just think that maybe it's just what dating looks like for you.
I don't think people realize truly how often a person that looks like me is presented with certain opportunities that could change your life, and having to say no, it takes a really, really strong moral code, moral compass, and it is really exhausting. And I mean, my mom tells me to talk about this stuff, and I'm just going to talk about it because I am presented with so many effed up opportunities where I could overnight become rich. And I have said no my whole life. I'm 32 now, because I was raised by parents that loved me and taught me good values and morals. But there is a devil on everyone's shoulder. And there are times where I have considered, like, certain things that I'm like, if I did this or did this, I could overnight, never have to worry about money again or something like that. But I just will never, ever do it. And I was recently presented with something, and I literally said no. And I went through these crazy emotions where I had to, it's so tough, because people are going to assume anyone that looks like me, or any girl around me that looks anything like me, they're always victimizing. It's always like, oh, well, you asked for it because you dress like this, or you asked for it because you show your body or whatever. In what world where I feel okay with myself and my sexuality and the way that I look, and I'm proud of who I am, does that make it okay for somebody to assume that I'm basically a... Let me tell you what, I wouldn't be driving this freaking Honda around the town if I was doing any of that stuff. So it's really extremely difficult to go to work every single day and do what every other person does in the world, and literally like own a house, take care of everything, cook, clean, do all these things, but also everywhere you go have to be on defense mode of people assuming you're a way that you're not, and almost having to convince someone or go through this trial period before you even know someone of something you're not, just for them to even take you serious. And I'm saying this for a lot of women, and a lot of people might not like to hear this, or maybe they relate to it, I don't know, but I literally am having people literally on the daily, I'm not kidding, present certain opportunities, I'm not going to say what they are because they vary, that I could overnight become rich or get a chunk of money or whatever. I just gotta, keep my mouth shut if I see a certain thing, or da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, I choose to be sexy in the way that I am because it makes me feel good and I'm in control of it. It isn't for any other reason or for anyone else or any monetary, whatever you want to call it. And everyone has a stigma or some sort of whatever, no matter what you have attached to your name. So I did bottle service in my life. Yes, no one ever touched me, da-da-da-da. Like, it's just certain things where it's like, it doesn't matter, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But I am just literally, like, it is so difficult to do the right thing all the time, every time, and still be seen as someone who doesn't, and have to literally explain your case. And people don't care. People don't want to hear it. They're not going to believe you. And for me, it's just like, you know what? The people who know me and love me are in my corner. But we all hit a wall. We all hit exhaustion. And once in a blue moon, I mean, I'm a human, I break down. And I just feel like I have to be on defense with men in almost, every realm, like work, literally, like all my bosses, my teachers growing up, my coaches growing up, like relationships, friendships. It's just really difficult to find people you can truly be yourself and trust, but also you are who you are acquainted with. So you have to be very careful who you surround yourself with. And I just find it very difficult to live in this modern day world with someone who has like a moral compass, but also likes the modern day world. Like, I'm happy in the world that I live in, but it does not mean that you are able to speak to me or act a certain way toward me. And just because I look like this does not mean you get a pass. Like, I'm so exhausted. I have to literally on the daily be tested by the devil. And I on the daily always persevere, but there is times where I second guess certain things and I get upset with myself because I'm like, no, stay the course. It is hard. I'm speaking for a lot of people that maybe don't want to talk about it, and maybe there's just a lot of people that have not stayed the course and hopefully learned their lesson. We're all human beings, I don't know, but it is just really hard and triggering and difficult. And I grew up in such a healthy, happy household where my dad and my mom and dad are still together. All my brothers and I are very close. I have really good people around me, and I just honestly couldn't imagine coming from a broken home or being a woman with no one to go to. I don't know if I'd have the same perspective. I don't know if I'd have lasted this long doing the right thing. And it's really sad because, social media and everything has been the downfall of the world, but these things were already happening. They were just not talked about or shown. I mean, Epstein Island, like, he literally lured girls in with lower income and said, hey, here's $200. All you got to do is give this man a massage for 30 minutes or whatever. Next thing you know, they're abducted, taken to be sold off to disgusting rich people. And all they were probably thinking is, let me just bite the bullet and I can let my family eat for a week or something. And it's taking advantage of people, and it's sad and it's sick. And I just am here to say that there are a few people left in the world that will say no and will work hard and do the right things in order to persevere. But there's days where I'm like, when is my good karma coming? Like, sometimes I'm just like, dang. My parents are the best parents ever. They fought for money their whole life. They fought for peace because they had to take care of 6 kids. And they did the right thing. And there's a part of me that's like, if you're a person, you can make money overnight. So is it better to be a person and rich with freedom, or a good person that has to work their ass off their whole life and stress about it? I mean, I'm going to take option number 2 because I know that you feel good. It feels good to be a good person and you set the example. But there's not a lot of us left. And I just want to say, I'm tired of having to explain my case. No, I don't do for money. No, you're not going to get away with F with me. No, I'm not selling nothing for no money. No, and I don't want to be a part of anybody's weird stuff. If that's what you do, to each your own. It's not what I want to do. And I'm tired of having to be defensive everywhere I go. And I can admit I take this into relationships. I take this into my outlook with men. And I have a good outlook on men because my daddy is a great daddy. My brothers are great men. But I am very much guarded before I even speak to a man a lot of the time. And you know what? I'm sure these men are guarded before they speak to a woman that looks like me, because they're assuming that I've probably done XYZ to get my house or to get whatever I own. And that's not true. I've worked for everything I've had, but we're all on the spectrum of like who's who and what's what, and we don't know anymore. And the world is so messed up that we are so easily manipulated. I mean, things are downplayed, and it's just seriously to me concerning. And this is a very long video, so if you're still listening, I applaud you, but maybe you just relate. I just feel like it needs to be said. I feel like it needs to be talked more about. Like, we are human beings, all of us, and we're all in protection mode. No matter what we look like, where we come from, who we are, we all have a heart, and we're all really looking for the same thing. And no one's going to put their guard down unless the other person does. And I just feel like our moral compasses need to align, and we need to find people that think like this and just present more of this to the world, rather than all the things we see on social media and all this, like, women talking like, I don't give a F about him, I'm going to do him and his friend. Like, no, we need to be more vulnerable. And I think it will help, but maybe I can help by sharing my story. I'm just tired.
So first of all, let me say that I commend you for that, for, trying to stay away from those opportunities, right? Especially when you see a lot of other women doing that. But I will say, what they're presenting to you isn't coming out of nowhere. Take, for instance, if you're doing bottle service, you do have to dress a certain way. And I was going to show I was looking at your profile, and I do see exactly what you're talking about when you say you dress a certain way to feel a certain way about yourself. Well, if you're dressing like that, then they're probably going to think, oh, well, just based on the way that you're presenting yourself, oh, well, maybe she's interested. And they go and ask you so they can make money and you can make money. But the good thing about you is that you'll say, no, I'm not really interested in that. I want to control it. But it's with the way that you're dressing on your profile, it's not out of the realm of possibility, especially if you say, well, I was a bottle girl. Well, there you go. I mean, not saying that's the way you are, but just basically the way you're presenting yourself.
To all the men out there, if a woman ever says, what color should I get my nails? I'm going to get my nails done right now. What shape should I get? Anything mentioning the nail or nail salon, that is the part where you Venmo, Zelle, Apple Cash, send the money, drop off the cash, pick up on the hints, and pay for our nails. Thank you.
A dude in the comments said, and when I say I'm going golfing, a woman in the comments said, I know you little pumpkin, darling, princess men believe wholeheartedly you're making a point. I don't want to hear all that. Just send the cash app.
I'm not a mom. How and ever, whenever I see videos of women on the internet breaking down and crying about how much they hate motherhood, how much they're struggling, how much motherhood sucks, how they regret their decisions to become mothers, my first thought is never to be like, oh my God, I can't believe she would say that. That's so terrible. What happens if and when her child gets on the internet and sees this? My first thought is always to say a quick prayer for her, hope that she has some sort of support system, go to her page and check if there's a GoFundMe somewhere and donate to the GoFundMe. Because if one thing I'm good for, I'm a softie. If you have a GoFundMe and I know about it, I'm probably donating to it. Maybe it's just the woman in me. I'm able to express empathy for these women, even though I can't relate. There is something, though, so deeply insidious about seeing a man or watching a man watch this video and then on his platform post his thoughts and commentary about the videos of these moms breaking down. And it's never to express empathy, a lending hand, a word of encouragement or support. Their first thought, their first instinct, their first question is, oh my goodness, what about your kid? How would they feel if and when they were to ever see this video? And then to use that mother situation as content for their largely female audience. And speaking of the largely female audience, I get in the comment section of this man's video, and do I see women defending this mom? No. It's women co-signing what he's saying, validating him. Oh, I would never. I can't believe she would say that. She's such a terrible mom. Not all of us feel that way. Well, I've never thought that way as a mother. And I want to say, he will never pick you. It will never be you. And I think we need to have a serious conversation about a lot of these male creators who build content or who build platforms pandering to women, giving women advice, telling women men ain't, all of the stuff that a lot of women want to hear nowadays about men. And as soon as these men build this platform of largely female followers, they immediately start to create content exclusively condescending to, talking about women and putting them down. And then women will get in the comments to fight for this man's attention, to let him know that she's not like the other girls, to validate the things he is saying about women, not knowing that if you were to get on the internet in the same capacity and he sees a video that you make and he disagrees with it, he will be very quick to make a video about you. And the same women who you were sharing the comment section with, putting down another woman, those same women will be in the comment section of his video ready to put you down as well, practicing no empathy or understanding. This is part of the reason why a lot of women are now stepping away from the phrase girls girl, because a lot of y'all are not girls girls. You will be girls girls until and unless it benefits you or until and unless it is time to get a man's attention. And then all of a sudden you're not down for the girls. All of a sudden it's you saying or doing whatever to put yourself in the good graces of a man, to make you look better in the eyes of a man than another woman. But it will never be you. And a lot of people need to practice more discernment when it comes to these male content creators, especially on this app, who are creating content exclusively for women or talking down to women, or who have a large female following.
So basically, I think what you're trying to say is he was right for what he was saying. You just don't like that. And then women in the comments, you were expecting men, but women actually were in the comments validating what he said, because he can see, wow, she's really breaking down. I don't need to give her money for that. She should take care of that on her own. Somebody in the comments said motherhood is lonely, and that's what most men don't understand. Some men believe that your kid is your playmate and should give you fulfillment. Who believes that? Which men? Which is it going to be? Is it going to be that men aren't lonely enough? There's a male loneliness epidemic, and that's why you're lonely? Or you don't understand loneliness? Which is it? Which one is going to fit your narrative? What are we talking about here? A man sees, then automatically goes for the children. But somehow, well, these men don't care about these children. They only care about themselves. Interesting. Men don't think about anybody but themselves. What about the child? What's going on? What happens if the child sees this? What he's saying is, you provided a structure for the child. And once the child sees you talking about them, him or her like that, how will the child feel? Right now, you're breaking down and it feels like, man, just everything's going wrong and I had to just get that cry out. But when the child comes of age, because everything is on the internet, what then? Whenever the child sees at 15, 16 years old, wow, I didn't even see this. Wow, I didn't even know she felt like this. Well, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that now. It was just a time in my life. Now, because you didn't keep this off the internet and talk to a therapist about it or a family member about it, you've got to do damage control. This is a part of what a man does. He thinks forward. That's why you hire him, right? Or that's why you marry him, because he thinks forward. He thinks progressively. What's going to happen if this? What if scenarios he's planning out in his head? I know you guys, like you said, are too soft and you don't like to think about that type of stuff. And so you'd rather think about whatever you're talking about and give money to her and hope she has a support system. That's your job. You keep on doing that. But what a man's job to do is protection. And my God forbid a man protect.
I don't know what this phenomenon is, but when I wake up in the morning, I hate men. Like, the thought of dating someone or having to be emotionally vulnerable with someone is disgusting. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I hate life as soon as I wake up, but I feel like unstoppable in the morning and I feel like I just need to get on my shit and I have no time for anyone. And this only specifically applies to men. I'm not irritated with like anyone else. If I'm talking to someone and I'm like obsessed with them during the day, if it's like 8 a.m., I could give two shits about them. Like, I really like want to know why my brain does that. And then usually like gradually through the day, I'm like more clingy. And then towards like nighttime, right before I'm sleeping, I'm like, oh my God, like text me back. I'm going to die.
Well, don't you think if you need to get on your stuff, then you probably need to shut up talking and go ahead and do that? You don't have any time to waste. Delete this video, turn this camera off, and get back to work.
If a man ever fixed his mouth to tell me to make him a sandwich, this is probably the one I would make. It's got cranberry orange bread, turkey, provolone, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, mayonnaise, and honey mustard. And then these chips. Specifically, these chips.
Honestly, where do you get that cranberry orange bread at?
Had to ask me why I haven't been married for 8 years up until this point. Ask me why, because I didn't want to. Next.
The laugh is honestly why so many women quit following you. So many women realize that hating men is not the way to get you a man. You might get a best man who wears crop top. Let's just say he wanted to be married and you don't want to be married, that means he's waiting around all these years to marry an ogre. All the women online say Drew Afewalo's man is gorgeous. There isn't a man online that says Drew is even cute. Are you finna be Mr. Drew Afewalo?
I suspected nothing.
The arrogant never do.
Now the problem with people with egos, they can't let you go. She could have just let my little video go. Now she has to think about the fact that everything about her is mannish, and her man is attracted to that. Her man is attracted to the essence of a man. Her man is attracted to manly men.
I mean, honestly, after seeing her man, they're kind of on the same vibe. I don't know what she's wearing. And the fact that this dude tagged her, the fact that he tagged her in his video is crazy.
If a man is shorter than 5'10", he will say he is 5'10". If a man is 5'10", he will say he is 6 feet. If a man is 6 feet, he will say he is 6'2". If a man is 6'2" or taller, he won't lie because he's already won.
You know, modern women say they're a 10 when they're actually a 5. They say they're a 12 when they're actually a 3. They say they're a 15 when they're actually a -5. You see, the worse they look, the more their delusion.
One of my ex-husband's biggest issues with me is that I had a hard time apologizing. He felt like he had to explain to me over and over and over about what I did to apologize. And the thing is, he right. It is hard for me to apologize because I'm not sorry. I meant what I said, and actually, since you brought it up, I got some more to say about it.
Whew. A woman in the comments said, I'm so happy for him. Another dude said, I'm not gonna lie, this sounds extremely exhausting to deal with. That's because it is. And this is what men deal with on a regular basis. But they don't divorce these women.
Like, as a man, right, a woman tells you to move your car, please. I said it nicely. I said, can you move your car, please? He said no and rolled up his window. Now, at that point, I'm like, oh, this thinks he can just aggravate me and I'm not going to aggravate him back. So, yes, I opened his car door and I could have got hurt, whatever the case may be. But it's men like that, because if I was a man, he would have moved. But because I was a woman asking to move his car, he didn't want to move. More than likely, he's a baby mother. Whoever he's with, he's probably a... Because you are parked in front of somebody's driveway. You don't even live here in the building. You don't live near here. I've never seen you before. You not gonna move? Like, you not gonna move?
She's saying in the comments, it's her driveway to her house. It's her building. I don't know why she keeps on saying building and then going back in between house. I don't get that. One guy in the comments said, ma'am, please don't open the door. I have a door holster installed and you would never see it coming. You got to be safe out there, sis. It ain't worth that kind of risk. Please stay safe. I agree. You're probably right in this situation, but don't be opening a door like that. That man don't know you. Call the cops or call somebody to come tow his car and go inside and let that be it.
Okay, hypothetically, if men never existed, from the dawn of time, women were able to reproduce without men, and we only gave birth to other women, and the planet was only filled with women, I think the world would be a safer place. From the bottom of my heart, I don't even think we would have war. Women do not even come close to inflicting the level of heinous violence on the planet that men do. I don't give a like, when mentally unstable men lack the ability to emotionally regulate, it is 10 times more detrimental than women. And don't even get me started, on a biological and evolutionary level, men are more prone to aggression. Biologically, they are just stronger and physically more powerful. So coupling that with a lack of emotional regulation makes the world a very scary place with them around. Of course, there are women that are violent, but I wonder what the level of violence would be if it wasn't in response to men. And I wonder if it was just women, how we would deal with other women and teach women about emotions and understanding and processing them. I just think it would be a whole different world. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, who's going to kill the bears? We would figure a way out. Get this from my face.
So I sent a guy a thirst trap of me in a bikini reading by the pool, and he responded by having an intellectual conversation with me about the book I was reading.
let's go down this road of you trying to test a man. You got to figure out if he's really there for your body or he's there because he likes you, right? And so you send him a bikini to test him. Let's say that he fails the test. Oh, you're so hot. Wow, you look so good. I immediately blocked him, girl, because you're not getting with me just for my body. You're going to get with me for love. At the very least, you've just sent a whole bunch of dudes half-naked pictures. You couldn't find another way to test the man?
It's crazy. I just got home from work, right? I worked all day, been on my feet. I've been slaving, you feel me? Think I'm finna come home to a good cooked meal from my wife. Y'all wanna see how lazy my wife is, bro? Look at this, y'all. Hold on, bro. Before I tell you, bro, this ain't no joke, bro. This real life, bro. I just worked all day, and this is what I came home to for dinner. Nigga, a dry sandwich. What is this, chat? What?
Get this. There was a woman recently, I think I put it in one of my compilations. She was like, look at what my husband bought for lunch. I think he ended up putting in there like a bag of cookies. He didn't put it in any like Ziploc bags, but he gave her her leftover Chipotle from like 2 days ago. He put in like a whole thing of chips, a whole thing of cookies, an apple, and then he had like a little joke, like with the dog food. He said, and just basically it's dog food because you're my dog. And then he said, oh, by the way, bring the dog food back because we're running low on food for the dogs. It's just a little joke. Women were in the comments, oh, he's is that an adult? My kids could do better. Yada yada yada. Oh man, weaponizing competence. You need to divorce him quickly. He don't tell me you hate her without saying that you hate her. Interesting how the tables have turned. A woman in the comments said, I mean, she really didn't have to make you anything. Bingo. So now she doesn't have to make him anything. Married, by the way, same scenario as the other woman. She was married to her husband. Another woman says, what are you telling us for? Another one says, lazy would be to serve you absolutely nothing. Grateful would be nice. Another woman says, what's the point of posting this? Communicate with her. Huh? So now we can all put on our problem-solving hats. Now we can all think critically on how to be grateful, how to communicate, how to talk through a situation. But back then, couldn't do that because it was a man that did it, and a man must be wrong.
This nigga just bubbles in my ass and just popped out with a whole nother bitch. Like, I'm so genuinely confused. Literally paid my rent for my birthday. Took me out of town. And just popped out with a whole nother on his birthday. I'm so confused. I done cried my lashes off, y'all. I'm so confused. Why are men so evil?
You're not confused. You don't care. You just want the attention from the internet.
Okay, this is gonna make people upset, but I saw something that said, do not date a man that is broke because he would not date you if you were ugly. Gagged. Go find a provider, go find a leader, go find someone that wants to take care of you.
A dude in the comments said, remember, if you'd like to revert to these traditional values rather than the modern reality ones, you must take on all of the traditional roles, not just the ones that benefit you. She's not gonna hear you.
I saw a post posted by a man, and the caption said, date women that hate men, but do not ever date men that hate women. He ate with that. Exactly. And I'm going to explain why. Because here's the thing. When a woman knows that men in general are just not trustworthy, they do not open up to men. They have a guard up, they have a wall up, they know that there's probably a lot of reasons to dislike that man. It's the same vibe as a girl being like, just one of the guys. I have a lot of guy friends because you're easier to get along with. There's less drama. No, get the hell away from me because I probably hate you. At that point, the only type of man that is trustworthy enough to be with is a man that does recognize that most men are not trustworthy. They're not bitter about the fact that you recognize that. They agree. They're like, yeah, no, you're right. And I am an ally of yours, and I'm not here to deceive you. I'm not here to play you. And then they prove themselves. And then you are locked in. But then when you flip the tables and it's a man that hates women, oh, no way. The difference is that when women find a man that is worth loving, that is worth trusting, they hold them in such high regard and they put them on a pedestal. But if a man hates women, they typically don't find a woman that they do that same thing with. They just treat them terribly. And that is because women that hate men are not always, a lot of the times, they've just had such terrible experiences with men that they don't trust them. Whereas men that hate women are always, one is defensiveness, whereas another is reactionary. They're not the same. And that's because men and women are not the same. If we're making generalizations for the sake of generalizations, men that hate women are almost always extremely violent. And women that hate men are usually just a little mean. They're not equal.
Yeah. This is not healthy behavior. It's just not. I see what you're saying. I understand what well, in my case, you're just creating another avenue for you to not take care of a problem that needs to be solved. That's really what it comes down to. If you don't like men, you're basically saying, well, it's a defense mechanism for me. You should like that because I'm not entertaining any other man. The problem is, I have to go above and beyond to impress you. I have to be obsessed with you in order to impress you, right? Sounds great. But then as we go on, I have to be a circus for the rest of my life. Number one. Number two, you say things until... Now, in some situation, these women grow out of this and they mature out of this. But I have to stick around until you decide to stop acting stupid like this. Because for the first, I don't know, probably 5-10 years of the marriage, you're going to think like this unless there's some sort of event that forces you to understand, well, shoot, maybe all men aren't bad. But for the first 5 to 10 years, I'm going to have to put up with this nonsense. And it's not just a mindset towards men. It's a mindset in general that you're going to shut down and you're going to close down to a lot of different things outside of men, a lot of different opportunities and advantages that we could take. I don't trust that because this, and this. And it's always going to fall back on your intuition. You're going to get frustrated with me because you want me to lead, but I'm not going to be able to lead because you don't want to do anything that you're not quote unquote comfortable with. And so nobody's asking you to, I'm just going with it. I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm just going with it because he's the man. Nobody's asking you to do that. But what I am asking you to do is to compromise. What I am asking you to do is to take a risk like the man has to take. Y'all are in it together. And when your mind is shut down and it's closed, how can he lead? If he truly respects you, how can he lead? He's listened to your opinion. Okay, you don't want to do that. Okay, let me look for something else. This man has gone through 10 different things before he actually finds a solution. And over again, for every single freaking decision, he's got to find a solution. He's got to go through 10, 15 different things before he finds a solution. All the while you're sitting in there watching Love Island. You haven't picked up a book or researched anything to figure out how you're going to go through this problem and solve it together. That's what he has to deal with. Because your mindset is closed. So while you're saying, if a woman hates men, then it's okay to do that. No, it's just your mindset is terrible. I've got to put this wall up. I've got to do that. You need to seek help, deep help, consistent help. You don't even need to be in a relationship. You need therapy, deep, intensive therapy. You need self-awareness. You need accountability, amongst other things. I know you guys think this because you're able to articulate it and it sounds good. I know that you think that this is facts. this is something to say, but it's not. What you're really telling the world is that you don't have it all together, and you probably need to leave men alone. You probably need to leave everybody alone and get you some help.
Okay, so this man's been bothering me to come over to his house, and I don't go to people's houses. That's weird. It's like, I don't play like that. You know, I gotta really know you feel comfortable for me to go to your house. But he kept asking me for like the third time, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to his house, and I'm stealing from him because he only wants to take from me. So while he went out to get us some wine, even though I don't even drink wine, I agreed to it. He went out to get us some wine while I stayed back at his house, and I took a few things. I went ahead and stocked up on some toilet paper. I'm also noticing that I've been running low on butter knives, so I grabbed some butter knives from his place too. I noticed that he had a huge, like he has a lot of these, so I just took one whole pack of trash bags. Also, he had a brand new pack, never been opened, of rice cakes, so I went ahead and took those too because me and the kids really like to put tuna on this. I'm gonna be using this for the kids to make pasta. He had like a fresh jar of ragu sauce. So I need to go get some pasta, but like he didn't have any pasta to go with it. Typical man. But yeah, I stocked up and then I left after I ate dinner. And to say the least, I'll be going back because I'm gonna end up needing some more toilet paper.
A woman in the comments said, I saw this exact video from another creator too. What an interesting trend. That's because she's lying. She didn't do this. They wouldn't dare do this. They never do.
Men are so lustful, you can't even be friends with them. Like, the whole time you thinking it's your homeboy, and he plotting on you. He waiting on you to become vulnerable enough and let your guard down so that he could take advantage of you. Like, it's sick. Like, y'all can't even be friends with men. Honestly, your best bet is just to avoid all men. Just avoid them at all costs. Don't try to be cool with them. Don't try to date them. Don't even talk to them. Like, they shouldn't even exist in your world. If you're a woman, like, don't even acknowledge that men exist, okay? That's the best advice I can give you. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, and it's so sad because in a perfect world, we will all be able to come together, trust each other, be nice to each other, be cool, be friends, whatever. But you can't trust these men. You cannot trust these men because there's always a hidden agenda. I'm gonna put it to y'all like this. Men only want one thing from women, okay? That's it. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how pretty you are. Men only want one thing from you.
So you don't think that men could say the same thing about women? I mean, even in friendships, some of these women are expecting a man to pay for the meal, to open the doors, to basically treat them like they're in a relationship. You don't think that women expect the same thing? If we go out and we're, getting messed up for the weekend, I expect the man to be the protector. You don't think that should be reserved for the girlfriend or the wife? Oh, no, because he's the man and he should do what a man does. What are you doing in the relationship? That's what a lot of men are asking, even in platonic friendships. What do I get out of this relationship? Well, you get somebody to talk to. I can talk to my friends, my bros. And they never expect anything out of me. So why would I be friends with a woman? Modern women, whether in relationships or platonic friendships, need to start expressing and then living out what they bring to the table. Period.
Sometimes I get sad that I haven't found my person. And then a male comes into my work. And of course, he brings his wife. And, she's there to just monitor him and make sure he's on his best behavior. I don't know. And then I say, okay, let's schedule your next appointment. I'm looking at him because it's his appointment. And she just steps in front of him, pulls out a planner, specifically a planner for him. And she goes, oh, I'll do it. I do all scheduling. He doesn't even know what day of the week it is. He just goes, she speaks for me. So, I'm totally okay with dying alone because I would never. Can you imagine? Can you imagine raising kids and also having to schedule a man's appointments? Absolutely not.
Once again, woman in the comments said, my husband has a very hectic, important work life. I, however, am very spoiled, expensive stay-at-home wife. So I do book all of the appointments, but I mean, I do nothing but live my best life. So he deserves it. Woman in the comments says, yeah, if we get to the ranks of spoiled stay-at-home wife, ranks of spoiled stay-at-home wife, okay, there are things we do to stay sitting pretty and comfortable. This is my goal in life. Honestly, me and my fiance don't live together yet, but he's gone from saying how we should work really hard to save up for a house to saying he really wants to buy me a house. So little by little, I'm working my way to be the spoiled housewife life who would gladly schedule his whole life if it meant I could be that. But I'm starting from the bottom like Drake. Oh man. You guys know that this is the bare minimum. If the man is working all of the time, then he doesn't have the time to do the scheduling and the appointments. He's going to have less time to do it. Let me say it like that. So he would probably hire an assistant to do that, or he would probably have somebody else take care of that. So if he's buying you the house, if he's buying you the cars, that's like the least that you can do. You need to be scheduling those appointments. You need to be cooking dinners. You need to be making sure the house is clean. You can't contribute to the marriage. Honestly and truly. Another guy in the comments said, this is how marriage works. She does things for me I'm not good at, and I do things for her she's not good at. I don't understand why some of these modern women don't understand that. I mean, this is a partnership. You guys said that you wanted a partnership. But all of a sudden, when it comes to things that you don't want to do, he needs to be a provider, man, and he needs to be generous and just do those things. Do you guys want to actually contribute to the relationship or not?